All right, ladies and gentlemen, do you want to know the most important information that was just released right now about Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer and Warzone 2? We're going to be talking about that today. Let's jump right into it. Super important to take in mind, whatever I talk to you guys about Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer, which is what I will talk about first, all the mechanics and all that will transfer over to Warzone 2. It's kind of like the same universe. So number one, the gunsmith is super cool. The most important thing about the gunsmith is kind of like different blueprints now in the game, but now all of these blueprints will have specific attachments. You guys know when you buy a blueprint in Warzone and if you change the barrel, it doesn't look like the blueprint anymore. And you're like, well, man, this was kind of a waste of money. Now it's going to be like different blueprints for the guns, but each blueprint is going to have all the sets of attachments. So whether you have a cool blueprint and you change the barrel, you change the foregrip, whatever you change, it's going to look like that blueprint. That's the most important thing about the gunsmith that I really enjoyed. Next up for the 6v6, which is the core gameplay of Modern Warfare multiplayer maps, they're going to be significantly smaller. They say they're going to tone it down a lot and they just want fast-paced environment and a lot of action. Next up, the heartbeat sensor will now have a battery. There's also cameras that will track enemies and they will mark them. Again, this goes for Warzone and for Modern Warfare multiplayer. There's also a new ground war mode where it's 20 versus 20, but there's also going to be 20 AIs on each of the other sides. So we're going to have 20 players. So it's going to be basically a 40 versus 40 with some cool AIs. Now, we don't know how difficult these AIs are going to be, and as well as some of the new mechanics that we just saw right now where the hanging on the ledge, you can hang on vehicles and shoot people away from that. There's also one of the new modes. If you ever played Rainbow Six Siege, there's this new mode with hostages where basically you rescue a hostage and you have to extract them. But if you die, you are dead for good. So it's basically like Rainbow Six Siege. Again, trying to make it a little more realistic, and we'll see how that one goes out. As well, there is no more slide canceling per se, but just go ahead and back this up a little bit. Okay, so yeah, there's no more slide canceling per se, but there's still sliding, and there's dolphin diving is back. But dolphin diving is a little bit cooler than before. Now, if you were in a building and let's say somebody throws a Semtex in your building, you can actually dolphin dive out of that building and away from danger. So you can use dolphin dives, pretty cool. And as well as you guys are looking at here, there's some really cool vehicles that I'll be going over when we talk a little bit more about Warzone 2. Now, there's also going to be a third person for all, they said for all the modes, and they said that you can kind of like turn this on and off. Now, I hope that third person is specifically for some of the modes, because I mentioned before that when you have third person in Battle Royale, it is a super advantage compared to first person, because again, with third person, you can rotate the cameras and you can see behind the objects that you're in. So third person is a lot different than playing in first person. So we're gonna have to see how that works out exactly. Now, going over into Warzone 2, it is gonna be the biggest map ever made. So obviously a lot bigger than Caldera. Now, we did not get any information about how many players or anything like that, but there were some rumors saying that there's going to be 6v6 now, like squads of 6. So we'll have to see exactly how that works. The map looks kind of like a PUBG map. So it's like a little bit of a desert map combined with a Mexican themed map. As you guys are seeing in the gameplay right now, there's going to be water involved where you can like sneak up on enemies, which again is going to make for a super cool gameplay experience and all that. Let's see. And one of the other super cool things coming into game is proximity chat. If you guys don't know exactly how that works, it's usually in the more realistic shooter games where basically, let's say, you know, there's an enemy in that building and you can talk. You'll be like, hey, yo, camper, get the fuck out of that building. And he can talk back to you if he has proximity chat enabled. So proximity chat is going to be super cool. And it just adds for a lot, kind of like funner engagements with the enemies as well. Now, one of the other cool things that they did mention is there's going to be different types of loot in the game now. So there's still going to be the same loot boxes that you find around the map and open them and you hear them, but there's going to be different sort of things. For example, if you go to a bathroom, you can find a med kit there. There's going to be special places where you can memorize that have special sort of loot and more advanced loot. So it's going to be a little bit more in depth when it comes to the looting. Now let me see if I can find, okay. Here's the one. Yeah, there we go. Now, another one of the cool things that they did mention was these circles. The circle is going to be a little bit different. If you guys know, the way Battle Royale circles work is from one big one goes to another small one, another smaller one, another small one. This one, at a certain time of the game, these circles will split, and you could have 3 circles in different areas with 3 different zones. And at the end, those circles combine into one little circle. So that's going to be a little bit more interesting. The map dividing into 3 different parts, again, making it for a little bit different engagement entrance, and you're not going to have the campers around the circle, you know, waiting for that circle to come in, which is going to be super cool. Gulag has now also been changed. It's not going to be a 1v1. It seems like it's going to be like a 2v2, so you're going to be partnered up with somebody that also died. So you could be partnered up with an enemy as well, and that's going to be really cool. But they also said that you can loot stuff in the Gulag, and there's AI in the Gulag, so it's going to be a little bit more of a challenge to get out of that Gulag, and not as simple as dropping in the Gulag 1v1, you win and you leave. It's going to be a little bit more challenging than that, so a lot more in depth when we're talking about the Gulag. Let me see, let me go fast forward to some of the, okay, so these are some of the maps. Now, here in the background, we got some of the maps just so you guys can see what the Warzone 2 map is going to look like. And we've got 3 confirmed maps that will be in the game. 3 Modern Warfare 2 maps. Obviously, a lot of the people that have never played Modern Warfare 2, it won't be nostalgic for you at all. But for the people that did play it, it's going to be super nostalgic and it's going to feel really, really cool. Now, as you guys can see here in the map, it's like a Mexican style. Wait, never mind. That is not where they're talking about special. Okay, this is there. Where were they showing the maps? Let me see. So here we got the map, right? Again, this was kind of leaked in Twitter a bunch of, a couple weeks ago, and it is going to be true. And like I said, it's going to be the biggest Warzone map ever released, and it does look pretty big. One of the places that, if you guys ever played, Airport is going to be Terminal, so that's going to be the Modern Warfare 2 map. Then I believe it was Observatory, which was the other Modern Warfare 2 map, which had like the big dome in the middle, like the radar. That was also a Modern Warfare 2 map. I believe it's that one. And then the other one that we also had was one of the cities, maybe Masra City. We'll see right now when they start showing the clips here. But this is going to be the size of the map. And again, we can see quite a bit of water. Actually, it's like a river that flows throughout the whole map. And again, you're going to be able to submerge through it, drive a bunch of vehicles and stuff like that. And if you guys didn't know, there's going to be a lot more new vehicles. So we got your regular SUVs and stuff like that, your regular helicopters. But now there's like overpowered helicopters in a way, where you got helicopters that can hold a bunch of people in. You got tanks, you got amphibious tanks. I saw a tank rolling in the water. So here we got some of the looks of the new maps. So we got Quarry here, and this was also a Modern Warfare 2 map, if I am not mistaken. Again, it's when you play the map and you're like, oh my god, okay, yes, this was a map I played. I think this was a Modern Warfare 2 map. This is another part of the Rahan oil, and I don't think this was Modern Warfare 2 map. This was another Modern Warfare 2 map with the dome here in the middle. That's going to be super cool, and this was in the middle. This is another Modern Warfare 2 map, Akhtar Village. I don't know if you guys, was it from Modern Warfare 2? Might have been actually from Modern Warfare 1, the original one. And then here is after this we're gonna get one. So look at the cities. Damn, they do look pretty cool. It's like a lot more open, but with some smaller buildings. I don't know, I think it looks really cool. The map does look amazing. And then we got Airport, which is the OG terminal, one of the most popular Modern Warfare 2 maps, and that is going to be super sick. So we got like a combination of old Modern Warfare 2 maps, right, OG maps, but as well with some of the new environment. And it's like a sandy looking, deserty Mexican theme, and it does look pretty cool, to be honest. And then another one of the things they said they are going to add is this thing called DMZ, where is it right here? Okay. So yeah, another thing they said we're going to add is a DMZ. And this is going to be played in the same world as Warzone 2, this new map. But the way that it's going to work is a little bit more special upside. So you jump in with your squad, and then you're going to be able to kind of like loot a bunch of things and fight against the AI. And it's not as a battle royale where if you're the last team standing, you win. After you complete so many challenges that you want, you could leave or not. So it's going to be a little bit more of a realistic kind of like playing with your team game mode. And I'm super excited to see actually how DMZ is going to work. So far, that is basically everything they talked about in the Warzone event. And again, they were just talking about the Warzone mobile experience, which is going to come with Verdansk and a bunch of other stuff. Probably, if you guys want a video on that, I'll be covering that one soon. But I just covered basically the most important things. Obviously, they talked about a lot more stuff, but this is the most important things that they were talking about in Warzone 2 and Modern Warfare 2 reveal. And also for the dates, launching October 28th is still going to be the official release of Modern Warfare 2 with the multiplayer and all that. 1 week earlier, we're going to get the campaign. And then November 16, we will get Warzone 2. So basically 2 weeks after the release, we'll get Warzone 2. So that's going to be pretty cool. And we're going to be able to play with all those things. Well, hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Smash that like button. Peace out, everybody.